guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nicole Wolf and I am a paranormal romance writer and historical romance writer for the sake of this challenge. And it is not Monday, but that doesn't matter because it is still time for the weekly writing vlog take 3. This is really good chili. Now, where did my water go? Found it. So, it is Tuesday, February 16th. And this is when we're starting weekly writing vlogs now. So, if you guys watched my last weekly writing vlog, you know that Monday was kind of crazy. The whole weekend was a little crazy. So, it is Tuesday. I did do some writing yesterday. I got through day 13, I think. And I got a total of, I think I kind of started day 14, but I didn't finish day 14 yet. I got 439 words. That doesn't include, me going back and highlighting one of the previous scenes that I wrote and highlighting things that could be either taken out or summarized or like just highlighting things that weren't necessary, which is kind of what she wanted us to do for the day 13 assignment. So new words that were written were 439 words for day 13 and 178 words for day 14, but day 14 is brainstorm some likely plot points and scenes for inclusion in the first third of your novel. So today is Tuesday, which means technically I'm supposed to be on day 16, and I am still working on day 13 and 14. So I technically have 4 days of work to complete today. So my plan for today is to try and finish day 14. I will not be doing everything that she assigned for day 14. I'm probably going to focus more on the brainstorming the plot points for Act 1 because I know we're technically going into week 3. Like, I'm supposed to be on day 16 right now. So, and I know I've looked ahead. Week 3 is the last week leading up to the outline. Like, starting next week, we are supposed to be starting to actually seriously dive into outlines. So, like, I need to get my shit together and figure out what, like, brainstorm some possibilities for this book. Because I don't have nearly enough scenes brainstormed, and I know I don't. So, that's kind of going to be my focus today. And then day 15, she wants us to do... start thinking about Act 2 of the novel. And she wants us to make a timeline. So, for Act 1 and Act 2. I feel like I need to get my groundwork done with my brainstorming my scenes and stuff in order for me to move on to day 15. So, that is what I'm going to be working on today. And, I'm just going to keep adding to my day 14 file that I have in my Scrivener. I'm still using Scrivener. I use Scrivener like for everything. I feel so bad for my beautiful notebook. Like, it's so pretty and I love it so much and I want to use it. It's just I'm not fast enough to do it by hand. I'm just not. I wish I was, but I'm not. So, I don't know. I'll probably end up using this just to jot down notes because, I mean, it's a big notebook. Like, I mean, I would definitely take this if I was going somewhere for the day. Because honestly, I mean, I don't like writing on my phone. I'd rather write in my notebook. It's not like a tiny little notebook that I could stick in my purse. You know what I mean? Unless I was carrying like a big book bag of a purse. That is probably what I'm going to start utilizing this for more as is random notes, plot ideas, you know, things that kind of come to me randomly. I might try carrying it around the house a little bit, you know, while I'm making dinner or whatever and see if that helps. So anyway, I ramble too much. I go off, and then I wonder why these vlogs are 50 minutes long. So, anyway, I'm going to go write, and I will check back in with you guys later. Okay, guys, so it's been about an hour, maybe a little more. So, I was able to get my day 14, like, working outline or pre-outline, whatever it's called. It's up to 488 words now. I know it started in like 170 something. So that's pretty good. I'm using the like signpost outlining method, which I explained the different outlining methods that she went over in this book in another video. I will put that in the cards above in case you want to check that out. And so it's really simplistic outlining right now, but I mean, this is supposed to be a pre-outline, so I felt like the signpost method would work best for this really early stage of outlining when I'm still kind of spitting ideas out there. I don't know if they're all gonna work. I don't know how they're all gonna connect. Like, I don't know any of that stuff yet, so I wanted something that was really easy to move around and expand if I need to, or, you know, just kind of see what's going on at a quick glance. So the signpost method is what I did, and they're really short, like, scene descriptions. Like, I have the character setting an event, and the events are like no more than a few sentences long at this point. So it's like really, really basic stuff that I have in this outline right now. I did get up to, I think, around 15 or 16 scenes now. The only thing is, I don't want to say these are all in Act 1. I do think several of these scenes at the end are going to end up in Act 2. So, like, maybe 10 of these scenes might actually be for Act 1, and I don't really know if that's enough for an Act 1. I know in my mind, I always think of Act 1 and Act 3 are always the shorter acts. Like, Act 2 is like the bulk of the story. So I don't know if that's a bad thing. I think it's going to depend on how long these scenes end up being, because I am thinking that I'd like this book after everything is said and done. You know, after I've written the first draft, I've edited it, you know, once I'm kind of hitting the final stages, I would like this book to be between 60 and 80,000 words, just because this is supposed to be a historical romance with paranormal elements. So I feel like that's going to require a slightly longer book, because it's not a contemporary romance. Like, there's going to be historical information that has to be weaved in. There's going to be magical elements that have to be explained on top of all of the normal story elements and romance plot elements and things like that. So that's kind of my long-term goal. But for now, this is where I'm at. I am finished with day 14. I'm not worried about the 21st lines of my novel yet, because that is something I don't worry about until editing stage, personally. So it says first line reveals conflict or tension immediately. I mean, I don't even know what my first scene's going to be, so I don't know how to. I mean, it says that's kind of what you're supposed to do. Brainstorm various and interesting ways you can enter your story. So I might try and do that another day, but not today. Probably not today, because I want to try and get caught up, and I'm supposed to be on day 16. So I'm going to be moving to day 15, which is going to be the timeline. So that's what I'm going to be working on next. And I'm probably going to be doing another sprint or two, and then I will check back in with you guys later. Hey guys, so it is 7:30 at night. I did get a little bit more done I started working on day 15 with my timeline that she wants us to work on. I still don't have a whole lot as far as this goes. Even my Act 1, I feel like it's there, but I don't know. I guess I have to study this genre, this like time travel romance genre, because it's supposed to be a romance, which I think is, means that there's two characters that I'd like to concentrate on, but because it's time travel, I feel like my main female character, because she's the modern character that's traveling back in time, is getting like the whole first act to herself, because my main male character is in the past, so he doesn't even come into the picture until, she's in the past. So anyway, I gotta think about how I want to approach this, because right now I feel like the only example I have to go by at the moment really is Outlander, because I haven't really watched or read any other time travel romance. So maybe I should do that. I don't know what else is out there as far as TV goes, and the only reason I say that is because obviously watching a show takes a lot less time than reading a book, especially if it's like a series. So if you guys have any recommendations on time travel romance, either TV, movies, or books, post them in the comments below, because I need to check them out, obviously. So at the moment I have about 9 scenes for my first act, and 10 scenes in my second act. So my second act is nowhere near done. And that's, she said to write your timeline and just keep plotting until you run out of ideas. Well, I am kind of out of ideas. So I don't know. I feel like maybe I am already at the point where I need to kind of refill, like take in some stuff to kind of give me some ideas on what I could do. Maybe they'll come to me as I go, but like at the moment I'm just like, I have no idea what to write right now. I'm not really sure what to do, because going forward I know we're getting into outlining stages where I need to know what's going on from beginning to end of the book, and I don't right now. So I need to do a lot of brainstorming in the next few days, it sounds like. Because today, which is the 16th, I'm supposed to continue filling in my timeline and then come up with a synopsis for Act 3. Yeah, so anyway, that's what I'll be working on the next at least 2 days, if not more than that, is just trying to come up with plot points at this point and write a synopsis for Act 2 and Act 3. Those are my thoughts going on right now, and I'm gonna go and, I don't know, brainstorm, read, do something to hopefully spark some plot points. I'm just gonna keep my notebook here handy. That way, if something comes to me, I could just write it down. This is gonna be my note-taking notebook for this project. So anything that comes to me, I'm going to write down in this. And hopefully I will have a lot more new ideas the next time I check in. Okay, guys. See you probably tomorrow. So, I lied. It is not tomorrow. It is the day after tomorrow. Ooh, I bet you guys down in Texas, if any of you are down in Texas, are probably like, shit, yeah, it's like day after tomorrow. It sounds like you guys are in not a good place right now, with like burning blocks and toys and books and sleeping in cars for heat. You poor people. Anyway, it's Thursday, February 18th. I'm supposed to be on day 18. I am still currently working on days 15 and 16, I think. Yeah, Mondays 15 and 16, which is basically me trying to come up with a synopsis for Act 2 and Act 3. So that's what I'm working on right now. I am making progress, however. I am making progress. So I have been taking a few notes in my notebook here. Not a whole lot of notes. I've honestly been doing more thinking, and I have a bunch of questions written down that I need to figure out the answers to. But I feel like I made quite a bit of progress, at least as far as the main character is concerned, Mac. I've really fleshed her out much better than I originally did. She's feels like a much more rounded and worthy character of a novel. Like before, she kind of felt blah. Now she feels more like, you know, a main character I could get behind and root for. So that's always a good thing, because if I can't root for them, none of the readers are going to either, right? So I said before that I had planned on adding some kind of witchcraft into here. Originally, I was going to have Mac discover that she was a witch. However, I've decided to change that a little bit, just a little bit, just to kind of help create a little bit more of an internal struggle for her. So instead of her discovering she's a witch, I'm going to have her already know that she is. She's just rejecting it because of her mother's death and the tie that witchcraft has to her mother's death. So anyway, that's kind of some changes I've been making. I've also been contemplating how I want Mackenzie's ancestor to play a part in the novel, because she is named after an ancestor, and I'm debating if I want her to meet the ancestor or ultimately be the ancestor. I feel like her being her own ancestor is kind of like a cool plot twist, but then I'm trying to figure out how that works. And somebody, Kyla Summersville, I believe, hi Kyla, thank you for pointing this out to me. She did say that while that does seem like the cooler way to go, the other way is easier, like just having her meet her ancestor and learn magic from her. Her being her own ancestor is like a cooler idea, but it's also going to be harder to pull off, because in order for that to happen, she obviously has to fall in love and she must have children in the past in order to become her own ancestor. And I'm like, well, that's true. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now, because I do really like the idea of her being her own ancestor. I just got to figure out how I'm going to make that work long term, like the logistics of it. So anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm hoping that I will soon have some kind of a working overall synopsis from beginning to end of the book, is what I'm trying to work towards. Me doing that, I am actually reading Save the Cat Writes a Novel. If you guys want me to post a review when I'm done reading this, let me know. I will do that. But this is I just started reading it. I kind of decided that this would be a good thing to read alongside of this. So I'm actually reading both of them at the same time as I'm going through the challenge. And I'm on the chapter about characters or the hero or something right now. So that's why I've been doing a lot of work on characters at the moment. So anyway, that's what I've been working on, and I'm going to hope I make some more progress today. I'm actually currently on a live stream with Aphrodite Lee. I will link her channel below if it's not already linked. I don't know how often she does live streams, though. I don't know if she's one of the more regular ones, but I'm on hers right now. It's like a whole day-long thing, so that's cool. So I am going to go get some writing done and I will check in later. So I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but it's snowing again. I feel like we have gotten so much freaking snow this year. I shouldn't say a whole lot of snow, but I feel like we've gotten snow so often this year. Like, I'm not used to it snowing like several times a week, it feels like. Hey guys, so it is Friday, February 19th, and I made a little more progress. I'm still working on my synopses for Acts 1, 2, and 3. I got Act 1 synopsis completely done. I'm currently working on Act 2, because I know Act 2 is the largest and it needs the most amount of stuff. And, I cannot keep this tripod where it needs to be. Anyway, and Act 3, I have a really basic idea of what I want it to be, but nothing like super concrete. So, like I said, I'm still kind of working on trying to piece together even just the overall arch of the story. And at this point, I'm not really sure if this is going to be a true romance or if this is going to be more of a like historical fantasy with strong romantic elements in it. And the only reason I say that is because the romance I don't think would be vital to the story. So, and my main male character obviously isn't even going to be introduced until the second act at this point. So, I don't really know how that works. Like, usually if it's a true romance, both characters are introduced relatively quickly. Like, within the first, 10% of the book. So, I'm thinking it might actually not be a true romance. It might be more of a fantasy, time travel fantasy with elements of romance in it. Just brainstorming and trying to get feedback from different places, and researching even just similar TV shows and other things that take place during this kind of time frame. See if that helps. So anyway, I did get 201 words in my second act synopsis and 120 words in my first act synopsis. I didn't even start my third act synopsis, even though I have a scene or two in mind at this point, but that's about it. So I'm gonna keep working and I will check back in later. Oh, look at that. It's snowing again. I think it snowed 3 times in this 1 week video. Hey guys, it is technically Monday, which means it's the end of this vlog, because it's the start of a new week technically. So, I did almost get my outline finished. I'm still kind of trudging through the weeds, and I definitely do still need to get a better individual timeline. I think I've kind of just been randomly coming up with scenes. I feel like my brain is still in brainstorming mode and not in organized outlining mode, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to get myself to a point where the ideas are still which is a good thing, the ideas are still flowing and coming in, but it's I need to organize my ideas into a cohesive timeline for this book. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I did make a lot of progress as far as scene ideas and kind of the overall direction that I want this book to go in. I feel like I have a much better handle on the type of book it is and like the beats, some of the big beats that need to happen in a romance novel. So I'm feeling really good about that. And I think within a few days, I will probably have a much more organized and detailed outline than I have at this moment. Just because as the brain is stewing and I'm just kind of going at it, like I'm recognizing this, this stand of mine for my phone is like shot. I need a new one. If you guys have any recommendations for tripods, for phones, let me know in the comments because I need a new one really bad. Like mine is being held up by duct tape right now. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, so I definitely have a better idea of the type of book it is. The major beats in the book, I think I have a couple of them nailed down, like the big ones I think I have nailed down. I think it's definitely the middle and the very end that I need to work out. Like I have, so I've been using obviously 90 Days to Your Novel, and so I've also been using the Save the Cat Writes a Novel book. I'll leave links for both of these books in the description below. So I've been using this for like more specific beats than what this book goes into. This book just kind of breaks it down into Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Whereas this actually breaks down each act into specific beats for 10 different genres. So I'm using the buddy love genre in this book. Obviously it's romance, and that is a buddy love, you know, according to how she names the genres. So anyway, I've been trying to kind of follow some of the big beats in here. And some of them, like she says, it's like some of them are a single scene and then some of them are like multiple scenes. So I'm trying to at least nail down the single scene beats at the moment, because I feel like the multi-scene beats, you know, like I think she calls one of them Fun and Games, which is basically the promise of the premise scene, which is basically like when somebody picks up and reads the back of your book, like they're picking up the book because of the promise of the premise, which is, for this book that I'm writing, is the fact that a witch, a modern day witch, is being thrown into 16th century Scotland, which is like not a good place for a witch to be. Just that time frame in general, I guess, in Europe. Anyway, so that's kind of like the promise of the premise. And those are the kind of scenes that I really need to nail down, because it's like that whole beat is like several scenes. It's a big chunk of the book. It's like 30% of the book or something like that. Just that one beat. So that's kind of what I need to nail down yet. And the single beat scenes, I have most of them nailed down. Like, I'm going through and I was trying to type out my whole synopsis for the whole book today. And as I was doing it, like, things just naturally changed as I was trying to write the whole synopsis in order from beginning to end. Like, I realized, like, this should change and that should change and this needs to be moved around, and like what I thought was going to be the end of the book shouldn't be the end of the book. It should actually only be the end of Act 2. So then I need to come up with a whole third act, because now I realize the third act that I originally thought was going to be the third act is really not the third act. It's the end of the second act. So like things like that. This is, I mean, I'm not surprised by any of this. I mean, I don't write books very quickly. I take a lot of time to brainstorm an outline normally, at least a month or two, at minimum. And that still, it doesn't mean that things aren't going to change. So, so it's not surprising me that my initial ideas that I had a week or two ago are drastically changing as I go through this process. And that's kind of what she was trying to say. Like, be flexible, understand that you're still in the creative process. And like, you need to allow for that kind of change to happen. Like, that is the whole point of this whole process, because we're not at the writing stage, even though we're technically supposed to have our outlines done, or our first outlines done by now. Because she's basically saying we don't start writing until week 6, I think. So the next 2 weeks are going to be really diving into our outlines and changing them probably. So I'm not like super concerned that I don't have like a really hard and fast outline done yet, because I really don't think that's what she wanted anyway. Like, I think she understood, like, we're going to have things changing between this first outline and our final outline before we actually start drafting the book. So like I said, pretty good progress for me, and I mean, I definitely still have some things to figure out, but I mean, I technically still have time to do that. So I'm not too concerned that I was not able to go through and actually finish the outline every scene. Like, every scene of the outline is not done. Just the major beats of the book are done. And actually, I still need to even put them in a kind of outline form. I'm probably going to continue using either the signpost or the spreadsheet method. Signpost, I think, is easier in Scrivener, though. Or note card method, because note card method works wonderful in Scrivener. So anyway, that is pretty much all that I've done this week, was pretty much work on my scene, writing, coming up with scenes and trying to put them in some kind of order and trying to figure out the beats of the story. And that was kind of most of this week. So, that is what I got done this week. My word count is up to 9,293 words. So I wrote a lot more words than I thought I wrote, because I don't want to say there was not a whole lot of scene writing this week, actually. It was, the only thing I wrote this week really was I fleshed out some character profiles, which I knew I was going to do as I kind of went through the process. Like, I already know there's another character profile that I need to come up with, because I have created a fiance for Mac in the present, that he needs to be, like, he needs to get his own profile going, and I need to kind of figure him out a little bit. Even though he's not a huge part of the story, he is kind of, part of the story, even though he doesn't get a whole lot of screen time. So anyway, that's some things that I'm going to need to work on as I go through this coming week. And I think a lot of that word count was really just me trying to flesh out my scenes, my synopses. I even tried to break my synopsis into each act and write a separate synopsis for each act, which is kind of what she wanted us to do on like days like 16 and 17 or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so I mean, I think that I've written about 3,000 words this week. And that's not drafting, that's just outlining and brainstorming stuff. So, I mean, that's more words than I thought I was writing. Like, it didn't feel like I wrote that much, actually. So anyway, that is all I got done this week. Okay, guys, so that is all from me this week. That is the end of this vlog, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you know when I upload all of these vlogs for this challenge. And make sure to check out all of the links down below. I have a link for both of the books I mentioned. I also have links to channels that I use for live stream sprints to kind of help me get focused and get some writing done. All of those links are down below. Make sure to check them out if you're in need of some writing motivation. I also have a link for Scrivener down below because I highly recommend it, and I think everybody should at least look into it if you are a serious writer, at least. And I also have a link for the Facebook group down below if you want to join this 90 Days to Your Novel Challenge. That is where we post all of our progress, any questions we have. I will be posting all of the assignments for each week in that Facebook group. So if you're interested in trying out this challenge, make sure to check out that link below. And that is all from me. And I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.